Lucas Tracy just made me sad. He made me very, very sad. If you guys don't know, Lucas Tracy is a very popular MMA YouTuber, somebody that I really, really love to watch online. And he pointed out something about one of my favorite fighters in Alexander Volkanovski, which really just killed the mood for the future. We're going to talk about what that is in just a second. Before we do that, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about Alexander Volkanovski. So, Lucas Tracy uploaded a video talking about the problem with each champion in every UFC division. I thought it was a very interesting video. Guys, go check it out. It was absolutely fantastic. But when he got to Alexander Volkanovski, I was like, what could the problem be with Alexander Volkanovski, right? In my opinion, I've talked about this a lot of times on the channel. I believe Alexander Volkanovski is the greatest fighter of all time in history, whatever it may be. He is the GOAT, okay? That's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about why I believe he's the GOAT and all that, but that's what I believe. Alexander Volkanovski, and this is what Lucas Tracy said is a problem with him. This guy is going to go out bad. He is going to fight way out of his prime, and we are going to go see this guy lose. When I thought about this and thought about the reasons that Lucas Tracy gave, I was like, oh my God, he is so right. Alexander Volkanovski has that you can do anything attitude. He has the attitude of just put the hard work in. You can do anything. Alexander Volkanovski is one of the most active fighters of all time right now and one of the most active champions. And this dude is dominating. While he is in his prime, he is exiting his prime. His prime is going to come out of here sooner or later. One of these fights, he's going to not be that same Alexander Volkanovski. And if he continues this attitude, and I wholeheartedly believe he will after hearing this, I believe Alexander Volkanovski has the attitude how he's always going to push himself, no matter if he, it's hard to imagine, but let's say he strings together like a 5-fight loss streak, right? He's getting there. He's pushing 40. It's a few years down the line. He's like, you can't give up on yourself. You got to get back there. You got to win. And then he's going to go out like BJ Penn. I'm like, oh no. Oh my God, this could ruin his GOAT status. This could ruin the legacy of Alexander Volkanovski. And it's really hard to criticize that attitude because that attitude is obviously why he has cemented himself as, my opinion, the GOAT of MMA. This dude is so dominant, the champion. Like, he comes in injured, not injured. He comes in, puts his work in, and he always puts on a performance. He puts in the work to always be better. And his attitude is one of the biggest reasons for it. This dude's self-belief is out of this world. It's why he went up to fight Islam Makhachev and knew he could out-wrestle him. He was talking about it way before that fight. I know I could be a problem. Even if Islam Makhachev gets me down, I will never give up. I will constantly fight out of positions, and I guarantee you I'm going to give that man problems. He was saying stuff like that. That attitude has probably carried him to where he is in his career today. But Alexander Volkanovski, with this attitude and with everything we've seen so far from him, I don't think he's going to quit. This dude should retire on top. This dude, in my opinion, he should go up and fight Islam Makhachev again because I believe he won that fight. I wholeheartedly believe he won that fight, and I believe he deserves a rematch for it. He was robbed, especially with him defending his title. And if Islam Makhachev defends the title against Charles Oliveira, Dana White said he'd be interested in rebooking that match. I would love to see that. If Alexander Volkanovski were to win that next fight and become the lightweight champion, he should retire. He should retire, defending it against Ilia Topuria and then defending it against, or winning the belt against Islam Makhachev. Solidify yourself as the greatest of all time. Your prime is coming to a close, if not already going to be in the next fight that you have. Nothing can happen but have it go downhill here. It really can't, man. It's tough. Even if you want to, but the problem is I can see him winning that belt against Islam Makhachev and wanting to defend that belt. Like he was talking about, he said, I want to be the most active champion. He's going to defend the featherweight and lightweight belt, and that is something to look up to. That is inspiring, especially if you want to be a fighter. That is awesome. That's everything in the attitude you want to hear as a champion. But he's getting there. He's almost 35 years old, I believe. Don't fact check me on that, but he's around that age. He's almost there. I can't believe he's still performing at the rate that he's performing. He can't keep this up. That's impossible. Father Time is undefeated and will forever be undefeated. Alexander Volkanovski's day is coming. The upset is coming. I hope he retires on top because he will forever be the greatest of all time, in my opinion, until somebody more dominant than him comes up and does exactly what he does and looks as good as he does. The problem is, I think Lucas Tracy is right. I don't think that, I think it's an unrealistic expectation I have. And it's not an expectation. It's just like a hope of mine. It's an unrealistic hope of mine that Alexander Volkanovski will retire on top. I feel like this dude's going to go out on a bunch of losses like BJ Penn. No matter how old he gets, he's just going to sit there and he's going to be like, oh, you got to believe in yourself. I can come in. I can be a champion. He's going to have that Chris Weidman attitude coming back and thinking he can be a champion while he's losing to unranked guys. I do not want to see that for him. This is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I want nothing but the best for him. He's one of my favorite fighters. It's a privilege to watch him perform. And I see nothing but the like horrible sadness in the future for me and Alexander Volkanovski fans, you know what I mean? And Lucas Tracy completely ruined that for me because I never thought about that in my entire life. I was like, oh, yeah, that's going to be tough. That's in the future for Alexander Volkanovski. So guys, I'd love to know what you think down below. What do you think about Alexander Volkanovski? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is in the future for his career? Do you think we're wrong? Do you think this dude is going to quit eventually when he gets on top? How do you think Alexander Volkanovski is going to end his career? I'd love to know what you guys think down below. And thank you so much for watching this video. On the screen right now, you'll have 2 videos from the Clenbat channel. If you'd like to continue watching, I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.